Everything that they talk about is about money, 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 but they release no resources into the communities. We can't breathe when we have poor people who are put outside of their homes, who don't have resources, who don't have access to health care or anything like that. I can't breathe because of that. I can't breathe when they're using my taxpaying dollars to fund the war that I don't agree with. We got the Miss Jill Stein here that's got a policy, that's got a program, that's got actual things that she's going to be able to implement as president.
Chat, the thing is that, guys, on paper, taxpayer dollars mostly go to fund war and anti-war or like protection in a lot of countries, most countries out there, right? I mean, this is the United States have stuff based and it holds a lot of places, a lot of shit together, does it not? Why should I say no? Wait, have I been gaslit and brainwashed by the system? The fuck?
My name is Jill Stein. I am the Green Party candidate for president, and I'm here to lift up the voices of the people. This is the real convention. It's not just Donald Trump, who is a threat to our democracy, who is a fascist threat. It is the Democratic Party as well. Trump interferes typically after the election, and Democrats typically interfere in advance of the election. Some people say that, oh, but the Democrats are the solution to fascism. They're actually not. They are the cause. And let me tell you how that is. Because you had Bill Clinton implementing NAFTA, which sent lots of jobs overseas. You had Barack Obama, who was passing the Wall Street bailouts.
Wait, hold on. Chat, is it NAFTA? Chat, is that the Elena in French? Isn't that mostly a trade exchange of North America and America's exchange change? So how's that getting jobs overseas?
Jobs overseas. You had Barack Obama, who was passing the Wall Street bailouts, which bailed out Wall Street to the tune of trillions of dollars, while ordinary homeowners got thrown out of their homes. The long and short of it is that about 30 million people have lost their jobs over the last 30 years. Lots of it due to Democratic policies.
We must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving America.
Is Mexico overseas?
That is what drives the surge to the right when people are insecure.
Yeah, but is that overseas though? Did they call it overseas? No. So what the fuck is this that you're talking about? It's over river. It sends jobs over border. What about it? The fuck?
And then they're goaded into demonizing others, and it becomes a game of divide and conquer.
Here in America, we only have Americans. We don't need to be a country dominated by foreign illegal immigrants.
Sorry, I don't want you here.
And you're demonizing immigrants, which is a lot of, what the right wing typically does. Democrats are driving those policies. Furthermore, it's the Democrats who are funding the most extreme Republicans.
We will make America great again.
This may sound kind of crazy. It actually is very crazy. You may have heard of the Pied Piper strategy, which was how Donald Trump was lifted up by the Hillary Clinton press contacts, who lifted up Trump thinking that he would be the easiest Republican to beat because he was the most extreme. But actually he wasn't. But meanwhile, they put a lot of money into him. In 2022, they're still using that game plan, and they spent in 2022 in the midterms $50 million funding the most extremist Republican candidates for Senate and Congress.
What at first glance looks like a typical campaign message for a Republican primary candidate is actually an ad paid for by Democrats.
Democrat Service responsible for the content of this ad.
It's part of a national strategy. Official Democratic campaign arms and outside groups are pumping millions of dollars into Republican contests in at least 7 states, betting that Trump-faithful, election-denying candidates will be less competitive in November.
So they help launch the careers of very extreme Republicans because they'll be easier to beat in the general, but in the meantime, they launch the political...
Sometimes, chat, in a lot of times, when the public is too stupid, you can say something that is a common thing that happens, and you go, this is what people do, rah! And people go, oh! Right? But it's something that both sides do. Is this one of those things or not?
Careers of real extremists. So, in my view, it's a pox on both of their houses. Neither of them are going to fix this for us. They're both working for Wall Street and the war machine, and they are both a threat to our democracy. So I reject the notion of lesser evilism. And besides, How could you say that the Democrats are the lesser evil when they are conducting the genocide right now? They are slaughtering 200,000 women and children in particular, and elders in Gaza right now. With Trump, it's a hypothetical. With Biden-Harris, it's not hypothetical. It's actually happening now.
Uh-oh, the ghetto bird's out. You know what that means. Channel 5, election season 2024, Democratic National Convention.
The what now?
As you can see, this brick building right here is not an ordinary brick building. This is the other side of the United Center. The Chicago Bulls play there sometimes, but tonight, a different game is being played in there, and that's the game of two-party electoral politics. Now, my main man, 8th Card Saddam, is at a nearby park with the Palestinians and Palestinian supporters, speaking to them.
We feel betrayed by the Democratic machine. A lot of the Muslim Palestinian community voted Democrat.
We send a $3.5 billion of weapons, 2,500 pounds of dumb bombs.
Workers of the world unite. We have nothing to lose but our chains, a world to win. Join the Revolutionary Communist International wherever you are. And watch Channel 5.
Thank you, man. I'm about to go about 2.5 miles away from the Democratic National Convention to a park called Humboldt Park to visit an organization called the Poor People's Army.
I'll keep it in mind.
Have you ever heard of the Poor People's Army? But apparently they're poor, they have an army, and they're meeting in Humboldt Park. So we're gonna go tap in and see what's going on.
That's kind of a jammer though.
We are here to live amongst one another because it's our calling here on earth. We're all placed here. Nobody was forced here. We were all put here. So what we're going to do is we're going to live together. We're going to ask for the war to stop in Palestine. The violence that's plaguing the streets right now is contaminating our whole nation. We want to see a ceasefire here in Chicago.
Yes. I can breathe with Jill Stein. Say, I can breathe. I can breathe. I can breathe with those policies. I can breathe. I can breathe.
My name is Sherry Honkala, and we're here in Humboldt Park. Our slogan really is, we're not left, we're not right, we're from the bottom, and we're coming for the top. Instead of having our military fly someplace and kill people, we could have our military build luxury housing overnight.
Right. How do you think like the Democratic establishment benefits from having an underclass of poor people?
They're really invested in building what we call the nonprofit industrial complex. There's a lot of money and never solving issues. The shelter system is a money-making business. A lot of them are privately owned.
Private for-profit shelters. These shelters aren't providing any wraparound services at all. They're just providing what are oftentimes substandard, unsafe housing for individuals.
Look, I don't mind making money. I love making money, okay? But I hate for the government wasting money. And right now, it's a waste of money.
Fair runs 4 houses in St. John's. His revenue has quadrupled in the last 5 years.
People have to actually spend money in order to stay there. They can't hold on to their belongings. They employ a gajillion other social workers to justify why they psychologically don't need housing, keep them on waiting list. When the reality is they just need access to affordable housing. Poor whites are hurting just like blacks and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and our indigenous brothers and sisters. It's just a question of lack of access to education and real information about who's in charge.
Is there any particular candidate or political figurehead that stands out to you as somebody that would be a good option for this new party?
Well, I mean, I love Claudia de la Cruz. I love Cornel West. But I think that the candidate that's actually on the majority of the ballots across this country and has the actual infrastructure and the ability to potentially win would be Dr. Jill Stein.
Right.
Who the fuck?
For those who don't know, what is the war machine?
Okay, so very simply put, we are now spending about half of our congressional budget, $1 trillion a year, on endless wars. Endless wars and 800 military bases around the world. We are spending more than the next 10 nations combined, the next 10 biggest spenders. We're spending more, mostly on weapons. So it's about half of this humongous budget that's actually going to the war profiteers, the war contractors. They're making huge profits on this. It is an industry.
Chad, what happens if they all pull out
which has bought its way into Congress, and it provides a lot of campaign contributions. It provides lobbyists who are defining policy.
I feel like that's World War III,
these
4, and 5
projects
odds
that
and
provide jobs in a whole lot of different districts, and that's also how they buy the support of our politicians, such as they are. AIPAC is also part of this. So AIPAC is also pouring money into races, buying politicians to basically gin up endless conflict, which is great if you're a war contractor, and they're the ones, you know, who are buying these policies.
20 recipients in Congress, the House and the Senate, of AIPAC money in the 2022 midterm cycle, according to Open Secrets.
But for the American people
What's the
and
AIPAC,
the people
Chat?
of the world, this is an utter disaster, and they're embroiling us in endless wars that are not making us safer. They're actually making us less safe, not more safe, creating failed states like Libya and Iraq, just wreaking havoc on the world. We need a foreign policy based on international law, human rights, and diplomacy. Right now, it's mostly based on raw military power.
On a national domestic level, do you think that the media division machine is doing a similar thing with Americans themselves?
Absolutely. The media machine is really critical here. In fact, that's why the First Amendment is the first, because we need a free press, we need freedom of speech, we need the right to protest so that we, the people, can be informed. The role of the press is really critical. We're supposed to have a press serving as a watchdog to power. Right now, most of the corporate press are lapdogs to power. They are not watchdogs to power. So they're interested in landing the next interview with some, you know, with some big important elected official. More interested in that. So they're not going to give a tough interview. They're not really, you know, scrutinizing policies and informing people. If we're going to have a democracy, we have to have informed voters who can make decisions. And right now, we are kept in the dark.
What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great week. What if I told you I could give you 1 free gigabyte?
Yeah. Guys, I understand what she's saying, chat.
Here has...
But I feel like sometimes, chat, guys, it's just not that simple, chat. Guys, some of the geopolitics and shit, it's just so complicated.
Been an absolute soldier in this
there's
process.
A lot.
Ruben, what do you think is the #1 issue facing America right now?
I mean, there are like a lot of like poor problems in like Philadelphia, like homelessness, and drug problems too. It's like we do have to solve that.
Grants being passed. If you heard about that, that's the Supreme Court case that got passed like 3 months ago that allowed municipalities across the country to literally criminalize homelessness, starting in Grants Pass, Oregon.
It all started in Grants Pass, Oregon. That city had passed a law that said people who camp on city streets could be subject to citations, fines, and ultimately removal from those public spaces.
Chat, I'm pausing chat. Guys, realistically, chat, can America and other big countries pull all the bases out, all the forces out of all the other countries, and say, guys, nobody shoot. Everybody chill. We're chill now. Peace in the world, peace and love. And then reinvest all those funds into fixing America, whatever, right? Is that a thing? Is that a possible thing? Okay, no. So most people say no. Okay, then you don't agree with what she's saying. It just sounds good, but that's utopian.
People who are homeless there sued, saying that the law amounted to cruel and unusual punishment, a violation of the 8th Amendment, because it would criminalize sleeping, a basic
then in the summary, you don't agree with it then?
Specifically, it's been Democratic governors like Kathy Hochul and Gavin Newsom, specifically in California, who have jumped on that law. And here in Illinois, in Rosemont, which is at O'Hare, they just criminalized it, with the exception for being outside like Nike stores and stuff.
The Democratic Party has kind of like shifted into a very like concessionary position, even though it's supposed to be like the left party. And like I also think like a big part of that is obviously tied to like the Democratic Party's funding of the genocide in Palestine, especially with like the party kind of forming a rift between like the more like center-left part of the party, I guess, and the far-left part of the party, or at least them trying to. They've kind of just made the whole party move into this position where on a lot they're just not that different from the Republicans. The thing is that on a lot of home front issues, like Democrats and Republicans still work against each other, obviously, but like when it comes to more corporate-tied issues like baseline poverty and homelessness, they just have a lot of the same goals because a lot of them are just corporate.
So I just think they're like weaponizing things that really hurt people on a daily basis, because rich people can go and get abortions. Like across history, rich women have always been able to get abortions regardless of what the law is. So for me, I'm like, I just feel like they're using things to make people want to vote for them. And so for me, I would say it's the lesser of two evil thing. It's been going on for 8 years. Like, this is not democracy.
We need to be honest with ourselves about the kind of country we live in. Let's be honest. I mean, the Democrats got away with taking away the safety net. Well, and let's be real, too. When they passed the New Deal, they weren't thinking about the people. They're thinking about the entities, the corporate entities that would benefit from the subsidies. Let's be honest with ourselves, too. It wasn't about the poor person in Mississippi. It was about the corporate farmers that were starting to develop at that era and figuring out how do we subsidize them. That's what the food stamp program is about. There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick, okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage.
500.
Even though everything else went up. And we have a Democratic president or a Republican president, then a Democratic president, Republican president, and neither party ever talks about what is really going on in this world. Because I'm not even going to say the country. What is really going on in this world? There is no scarcity. It is how do we pit people against each other so they're too distracted to see everything that I'm too addicted to consuming and how much profit I'm making, and more profit, how many more houses one individual can have, how many yachts can one individual have. And you're gonna arrest me now that I make a tent city? Yeah. So if I take the scraps from the trash and make some kind of shelter for me and my children, regardless whether I have mental health issues, regardless whether I'm an addict, regardless of whether I am a female, male, whatever, I am a human being first. With what conscience are you criminalizing poverty? And it's not going to stop just in the United States. The poor of the world, not just this country, are fed up. People in Gaza are fed up. People in Kensington are fed up. People in San Juan who just went through a storm and do not have electricity because the government that they belong to said you're not our country, so we're not going to give you federal dollars to fix your grid.
Energy provider Luma said roughly 560,000 people, more than a third of customers, were without power across Puerto Rico by the end of the day.
Guys,
the
I clicked the link on
grid is still being repaired
I
7
clicked the
years
link on my
after it was wiped
monitor.
out by Hurricane Maria.
Guys, I blame a chatter. Guys, go up and go find them.
Main City,
go find them.
County, Florida, okay? But
go
do you
find
think that the poor and rural communities have transportation? They don't. There's absolutely not even a sidewalk to walk on, because I am giving the message of stay poor, stay hidden, and die silently, okay? If I get a job, how do I get to that job? If I even get it when I'm in a rural community, okay? Let's not leave those folks behind. There are hundreds of thousands of people living in trailers across the United States who are paying $1,600 a month in rent for a trailer. A trailer. Have you ever been inside a trailer?
Yeah.
A used trailer. Do you know how that smells?
Definitely.
Okay? $1,600. Can you afford $1,600 to be living in a trailer? How many jobs do you need to have? Because I personally have 2. I have seasonal jobs and I have other jobs, part-time jobs that I do. I have a girlfriend who works 3 jobs to live in a trailer.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
What I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
Chat, where are these rents?
Something makes me get money. Trying to get money. Like, money's hard.
You're in the poor people's army.
Oh, no.
Trying to be in the bag chasers army.
Yeah.
Chat, the more things go this way, the more I can't put even more emphasis on the fact that, guys, staying at mom's and pops is perfectly fine, okay? Because I'm tired of hearing these people, dude, that force themselves to move out just for the fact of, oh, I want to be moved out, I want to be by myself. That's some lemo shit, okay? That's a luxury, brother. Like, step moms and pops and create a strong foundation, a very strong one, even more, a foundation and a cushion, both, right? So that whenever you do leave, right, you have some wiggle room.
I'm that guy.
The point isn't to leave home as soon as possible. The point is to be happy and be comfortable, okay? And that's what you have at home. So make sure you bridge good to good. You don't have to fucking go to the doom mode.
$1 million right now.
You don't.
I'll go to the store.
You go to the store?
On top of that, you're gonna miss mom and pops. Hey, I miss mom and pops a little bit. Yeah, they're on my nerves sometimes, right? But hey, it is what it is.
To get what? You have $1 million. You gonna go to the store?
I'm hungry. I want to get that Puerto Rican restaurant food.
What are you about to get?
Some pastelillos, empanadas, anything. I'm hungry.
Want to give a message to the kids out there?
Work hard and
Don't do drugs then.
and don't be depressed.
What about cigarettes?
Don't smoke.
See? Told you.
What about drugs?
Don't do drugs, because
What about
I know
school?
people do drugs, and they look weird. I went to Philly for a little bit, and people do drugs there a lot.
For real?
Yeah, this lady was just dancing and screaming. She was skinny, and her whole face was whole dry.
Probably off that trank. You ever heard of trank before?
Nope. My name is Anthony Mejia Colon. Anthony Gabriel Mejia Colon. I'm Puerto Rican and Mexican, and I'm part of the Poor People's Army. I want to be treated like an adult. 13 or 12 is like an adult, basically. I'm about to have a talk with my mom about that. What is your favorite sport? Football. So what is your favorite snack? Takis. You too young to do Takis, sir, because your stomach. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Doing well, sir.
My name is Anthony Mejia Colon. What's your name, sir?
My name is Captain Join. I'm one of the High Times freedom fighters at a Lifetime Yippee. I'll be one of the speakers today.
Where you go say in the speaking?
You know, I never know till I get up there, but it'll be a surprise for all of us.
All right. How was the riots in the 60s?
The 1968 riots have been very well documented, and they were horrible. Chicago was full of the delegates and full of the protesters, and the protesters had no place to stay. They're trying to sleep in Lincoln Park. At dusk, the cops went into Lincoln Park, and the footage is in Chicago 8, and they just wailed anybody that was standing. Just started clubbing the whole crowd down. It was dubbed a police riot for a reason, because we're a pretty peaceful crew. The cops, sometimes not so much. But they're saying if we follow the rules this time, they won't arrest us. So we're down with that. We'll see what happens.
My name is Chris the Anarchist Ryan. I am here from Columbus, Ohio, representing the Columbus, Ohio chapter of the Youth International Party.
No jokes today, I guess. No jokes today. No more.
Yippies. Y-I-P-P-I-E-S.
Yippee, sir?
Yippie. I'm a yippie, yeah.
Oh, you're a yippee, sir?
Yeah, I'm a yippie.
May I ask how old you are?
I'm 66 years old. I've been a member of the Youth International Party for 50 years. I'm the founder of the Ohio Hemp Fest at Ohio State University, or I should say the Ohio State University. Abby Hoffman was my mentor. I am also a national co-founder of critical mass bicycle protests in both Columbus, Ohio, and here in Chicago, Illinois, where I used to work as a bike messenger and racing sailor in the late 90s. Follow your dream.
You heard him. Follow your dreams. Never give up your dreams, guys.
You're a young reporter. You're obviously interested in doing journalism and moving into media arts. That's kind of a dream for you, an aspiration, something you want to see happen in your life.
And you're not
follow it. You're not doing. Yeah, exactly. Do what you're doing. Keep it up, because what you're doing is actually really very, very important.
You're right, sir.
And so yeah, you know, stay close to your dream. Follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
Don't dream it, be it.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm signing off. Have a nice day. Never give up your dreams.
Gotcha.
You could be whatever you want. You could be gay. You could be anything. Thank you for watching Channel 5. Peace out.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine.
Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
All right, guys. Seems like